A warm greeting to all of you. Hope you all are doing good. So, in today's session, we are going to have a revision on the chapter called Sources of Energy. In the previous session, already we have discussed about the concept of energy, classification of energy, and also we discussed in detail about renewable and non-renewable sources of energy. And in today's session, we are going to have a short look on the concept called conventional sources of energy and non-conventional sources of energy. So here you will be able to see the difference between conventional sources of energy and non-conventional sources of energy. So whenever we just talk about conventional sources of energy, these are the form of energy which are not renewable, which means non-renewable sources of energy. And the main idea about conventional sources of energy causes different types of pollution, maybe air pollution or land pollution, or different sources of pollutions will be there. And low initial setup cost. So when we just talk about initially how we are going to start it, so where we need a low initial setup cost, where the cost required for the initial setup is going to be very low and very expensive per unit. If you just talk about the conventional sources of energy, to set a unit of source of energy, it may be expensive. And the next concept is it is available only in limited stock. That is what we just called as limited reserves. It means that the source of energy is a non-renewable sources of energy. So once the source gets exhausted, it cannot be reused again and again. So non-conventional sources of energy are renewable sources of energy. Non-conventional sources of energy are renewable sources of energy, and it causes very less pollution and moderate initial setup cost will be there. So when you just talk about the initial setup cost to start the or to initiate the non-conventional source of energy, it may be moderate in price and very cheap per unit. If you just talk about individual plant or individual source of energy, if you talk about where the cost will be comparatively less. For example, when you talk about conventional source of energy, you imagine about a thermal power plant. And when you just talk about non-conventional source of energy, you imagine about a wind energy. So comparatively, than thermal power plant source, wind energy requires very less amount for the initial setup. So that is the idea about non-conventional source of energy. And the last thing is about unlimited reserves. So it means that the availability of source is unlimited. For example, solar energy or wind energy or hydro energy. So the availability of the source is renewable, which means where it can be replaced again and again. That is the important concept what we discuss over here. So it gives an idea about the various sources that get involved in non-conventional energy resources and conventional energy resources. For example, now when we talk about non-conventional energy resources, example solar energy or wind energy, these all comes under non-conventional energy sources which are going to be renewable. And when you talk about conventional energy sources, we discussed about non-renewable source of energy. For example, coal or LPG gas. In common we call it as fossil fuels, coal, petroleum products, natural gas. So these all comes under conventional energy resources. And In today's session, we are going to discuss in detail about the various sources what comes under conventional energy sources. Various type of energy sources that comes under conventional energy sources. So first of all, what are fossil fuels? We have been discussing, we have mentioned for conventional source of energy, the best example is fossil fuel. So what is actually fossil fuel, or what are fossil fuels? Actually, fossil fuels are nothing but the fuels which are formed over millions of years ago. That is the first idea which we have to keep in our mind. So to form these fuels, it takes millions of years to be formed. And next thing, there are only limited reserves, in sense only limited sources are available. And the third thing is about, it's a non-renewable source of energy. As we discussed already, fossil fuels are non-renewable sources of energy. So once the fuel content gets over, it cannot be replaced at once. And there are, even as we have some advantages of using fossil fuels, like we produce a huge amount of energy source, but even though there are certain disadvantages of fossil fuels. So when we just talk about disadvantages of fossil fuels, the first idea is about it causes air pollution. So fossil fuels, they contain carbon. So on burning the fossil fuels, where the smoke will be given out and carbon content will be given out, so it causes air pollution. And the smoke what is given out, it consists or it contains oxides of carbon, nitrogen and sulfur are released. So these all are, carbon, nitrogen and sulfur are the acidic oxides. Acidic in sense, it contains acid nature. It contains acidic nature. So this leads to acid rain. So on usage of fossil fuels, it leads to acid rain. And not only acid rain, it gives out carbon dioxide. So where the greenhouse effect is also experienced. Because of on burning fossil fuels, it gives out carbon dioxide. So as I just discussed, the same idea here it has been shown. So disadvantages of fossil fuel, non-renewable, first idea. Next, it gives greenhouse effect and a lot of smoke is given out. Next, we are going to discuss about thermal energy. So when we just talk about thermal energy is the one where heat is utilized. So what happens here in a thermal power plant? So either the thermal power plant is also called as coal power plant, because we use coal as the major source of energy to produce electricity. Where coal is used as the major source of energy to produce electricity. So here the coal has been burnt and the heat energy what is released from the coal is used to heat the water, and the water gets converted into steam, and this steam gets into the turbine in sense huge size fan, and it makes the turbine to run. As the turbine runs, it produces electricity. This is how a thermal power plant functions. So here we have some key points about the thermal power plant. So in thermal power plant, large amount of fossil fuels are burnt. So especially fossil fuels, the best example we may think about coal. And the heat what has been produced is used to heat up the water. So as I mentioned, it heats up the water and it produces steam, and these steams are used to run the turbine. It runs the turbine and at last it generates electricity. So the keywords of thermal power plants are large amount of fossil fuels are burnt, heat up the water, it is used to heat up the water, and produces steam which runs the turbine and generates electricity. So this is the next picture. It gives the idea about the hydro power plant. So initially we discussed about thermal power plant, and now we are going to discuss about the hydro power plant. So instead of coal products, here we are going to utilize the water to produce electricity. So this is the idea about the hydro power plant. So when we talk about hydro power plant, what happens here? So the key points of hydro power plant are: it is a traditional source of energy. The first idea is about it is a traditional sources of energy, because hydro power plant we have been depending on long period. So it is called as traditional sources of energy. And next thing, it uses the kinetic energy of flowing water, or it uses the potential energy of water at heights. So for example, river water. So when the water flows where it has kinetic energy, the running water or the flowing water, it has kinetic energy. So we use the kinetic energy. With the help of the kinetic energy, we run the turbine and we produce electricity. And or we will be using the potential energy of the water. For example, we may have reservoirs. Reservoirs are nothing but the dams that are built across the rivers in hilly areas. And when the water gets stored in a dam, where it as the level of the water rises up, the potential energy it increases. As the level of the water rises up, where the potential energy increases. So it uses the potential energy of the water at height and runs the turbine and generates electricity. So look at the diagram. So where you will be able to identify how the functioning takes place. So this is the diagram about the dam. So dam, which we just called as reservoir, another term, it is called as reservoir. So where the water gets stored up, as the water gets stored up, the potential energy is high, and this water is taken out. And when the water is taken out from the dam, it may flow with a high speed, and where the potential energy gets converted into kinetic energy over here. And this kinetic energy of flowing water is used to rotate the turbine. It is used to rotate the turbine, and just by rotating the turbine, where the electricity is generated from the generator, and this electricity can be utilized for our need. I mean the domestic purpose, or it may be industrial purpose, where the electricity can be utilized. So this is how a hydro power plant functions. So the key word about the hydro power plant is nothing but it's a traditional source of energy. It uses kinetic energy of flowing water, or uses potential energy of a water at height and runs the turbine, and finally generates electricity. The advantages of hydro power plant. What are the advantages of hydro power plant? First idea is it's a renewable energy source. It's a renewable energy source because whenever we get rain, where the dams will be filled up, and we'll be using those water to produce electricity. So it's a renewable energy source. Next thing, it is a pollution free, because in thermal power plant we will be burning the fuels. When we burn fuels, it gives out pollution, but in hydropower plant it's pollution free. And the third advantage is construction of dams control floods. So construction of dams across the river, it controls flood, so that loss of life and properties will be avoided. Now we are going to discuss about the disadvantages of hydropower plant. Even by having advantages, there may be certain disadvantages also. So the disadvantages of hydropower plant are nothing but constructed only in a limited places, where the dams cannot be built everywhere. That is the most important point, where the dams will be constructed only in a limited places, in terrains or in hilly areas or across the river where the water flow is more. Only on those areas where the dam will be constructed. Large area of agricultural land and human habitation gets submerged. That is most important. When we construct a dam, a huge area is being covered up. I mean, the agricultural land, it will be covered up, and human habitation, where the living area of human will be submerged into the dam. So this is the drawback of hydropower plant. So when we talk about disadvantages of hydropower plant, constructed only in the limited places, and large area of agricultural land and human habitation gets submerged. So the next idea about the conventional source of energy is one about where we just it's kind of an alternate source, even we may say, which we just talk about biomass energy. So, sir, we may say that when we talk about conventional energy, most probably we say that we discuss about only the non-renewable sources. Most probably conventional source of energy, it is an idea about the non-renewable sources which we discussed. But keep in your mind, not only non-renewable sources or the energy sources what has been used for a long period of time. Even in the previous revision session, I have mentioned conventional source of energy are the energy sources what has been following traditionally or for a long period of time. That is the idea. So biomass energy is also one kind of source of energy. So here, the first idea what we are going to discuss is about biomass. So when you talk about biomass is nothing but a source of energy that is directly obtained from plants and animals such as wood, agricultural waste, cow dung, etc. So the waste products of plants and animals are converted into energy sources. The waste products of plants and animals are converted into energy sources. Not only waste products, maybe the byproducts of plants and animals will be also converted into the energy sources. That is what we just call it as biomass. So the first idea we discuss about wood. So wood, we all know, we are familiar about it. It produces biomass and can be used as a fuel for a long time. Of course. So continuous plantation of trees will give sufficient or enough amount of wood for burning purpose or to produce energy. So that is the one of the idea. So it produces biomass and can be used as a fuel for a long time. And next thing, it produces smoke during burning. When we talk about wood on burning, it gives out smoke where the pollution will be created, and it does not produce much heat. When you talk about the wooden products or when you talk about wood which is used to produce heat on burning, it gives only a less amount of heat comparing to the other sources of energy. So the next idea is about charcoal. So charcoal are nothing but when wood is burnt in a limited supply of oxygen. This is most important, please note it down. When the wood is burnt in a limited supply of oxygen, it produces charcoal. We used to say the product of burnt wood is nothing but charcoal. Okay. So when the wood is burnt in a limited supply of oxygen, it produces charcoal, and charcoal is a better fuel than wood as it has a high calorific value. On comparing with the wooden product, wood, it gives out more amount of energy. So that is the idea. It is mentioned as charcoal is a better fuel than wood as it has high calorific value, and it does not produce smoke while burning. Comparatively, on comparing with the wood item, it produces less amount of smoke. And the next idea what we are going to discuss is about biogas plant. So biogas plant is the source of energy where we use the waste of cow, which we just call it as cow dung, which has been mixed with the water, which we just called a slurry, and it will get dumped into a digester, and where anaerobic bacteria are introduced, and the slurry, it gets decomposed and it gives out gas, and which is used for cooking purposes or heating purposes. So it's a diagrammatic idea which gives the idea about a biogas plant. This is the idea about the biogas plant. So slurry is the area where the waste of the cow is being mixed with the water, which means cow dung is mixed with water, which is called a slurry, and it will allow to get into the digester. And here anaerobic bacteria are introduced. Anaerobic is nothing but, there are two important terms in biology. One is called aerobic, another one is called anaerobic. So aerobic means in the presence of oxygen. Aerobic means in the presence of oxygen, and anaerobic means in the absence of oxygen, which means there is no oxygen present. So the digestion and the decomposition takes place in the absence of oxygen. So we just called as anaerobic bacteria are introduced, and the decomposition takes place, and gas will be given out. The gas what is given out is methane, and these gases will be taken out for heating purposes. And the residue of the decomposed matter is used as a manure or the fertilizer. So now we get into the idea about the biogas plant. So as I just mentioned, the first point is slurry of cow dung and water is fed into digester. So the mixture of cow dung and water is called as slurry, and it is been fed into digester. And there is no oxygen, as we just say that mentioned, there is no presence of oxygen. And anaerobic microorganisms are introduced. Anaerobic microorganisms, in sense, anaerobic microorganisms are the organisms or the bacteria which survive in the absence of oxygen. So which is called as anaerobic microorganisms. And it decomposes the slurry, or where the decomposition takes place. As the decomposition takes place, it generates gases like methane, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide. So when the decomposition takes place, it generates gases like methane, carbon dioxide, and hydrogen sulfide. And the gas what has been produced, the biogas, is the excellent fuel which contains 75% of methane. It contains almost 75% of methane, and biogases burn without smoke. It do not gives out smoke and leaves no residue. Residue in sense, it will not give any waste products. So it leaves no residue. And next thing, the heating capacity is comparatively very high. So the heating capacity, I mean the amount of heat energy is produced is very high. And manure is rich in nitrogen and phosphorus. The manure, the residue after decomposition is rich in nitrogen and phosphorus, which is used as a manure and a fertilizer for the soil. So the entire revision session, we have discussed about the conventional sources of energy and also about some alternate sources of energy like hydropower plant. Then we discussed about the biomass sources. So hope you students understand all the concepts. See you in the next session. In case of any doubts, it will get clarified in the doubt session. Thank you all. Have a great day.